Yeah.
And we call that the Aight So Boom segment that Miss Moyo takes the lead on. So if you do not mind.
Yes. So,
Ah,
all right. So,
there you go. Thank
chapter
you.
22, we have God calling Abraham. Abraham responds, "Here I am."
Mhm.
God tells him to take his son Isaac, who he loves, and go sacrifice him. Um, Abraham wakes up early in the morning. He saddles his donkey. He takes his son. He takes two servants. He takes the wood for the offering, and they start journeying towards um, Moriah.
Yes.
And it's a 3-day journey. So we talked about in the last episode how it's a lot of time to think about what he's actually about to do. But he has faith that God is either going to raise Isaac from the dead or, provide for them either way.
Right.
So he goes, they get there. Isaac asks, so they get there. He leaves the two servants at the bottom, and him and his son, tells them, "We're going to go worship. Yeah. And me and my son will be back."
Yep.
And they go up, and as they're going, Isaac says, you have the wood, you have the knife, you have all the things, but where's the sacrifice for this burnt offering? And Abraham basically says God will provide his sacrifice. Once they get up there, he binds his son, he puts him on the altar, and he's about to kill his son. And I think we talked about in the episode also that a burnt offering is killed and then burnt so that there's no remnants left of it. Right. So you're not expecting that, there's anything left to raise him back up, basically. He's starting to do that. Then God calls him again, Abraham. This time he calls him twice, Abraham, Abraham. And he's like, "Here I am again." And he's like, do not kill your son. And there's a ram in the bush that's caught. He goes and gets the ram. He sacrifices that ram. And then they go back down, and they call that place, or they call the name of God there, Jehovah Jireh. God will provide. Yep. Or the Lord will provide. And God basically reaffirms the covenant that we've been talking about from the beginning in chapter 11. And it's been repeated several times, but here he's saying again, like, "I will surely bless you. I will surely do these things. Your descendants will be as many as the stars." All of those things are repeated. Yeah. Now that, it's not because he was willing to sacrifice his son, because we talked about the fact that the covenant is God doing, and also God like swearing by himself that he will complete the covenant, but Abraham's still showing faith and belief in that covenant, and God is just kind of like repeating. Yeah. And we were talking about what is for us versus what is for God, which nothing is all of the things are for us. So I think go back to the episode so you can get clarity, because I think it's a little confusing to do it in a summary. And then we get the descendants of Nahor, which is Abraham's brother, who he left back home. Yeah. So we get those.
What is going on, XYZ Nation? We back with our first chapter of Genesis for season 5. So we usually have a little banter. I think we kind of cut that out. But I think we're supposed to do something. Oh, I need to say the title. It's weird when you get back into the season. I got to remember all the things I did before.
Yeah. So I mean, we can always change it up.
We could. But why? No! My girl is the title of the episode today. And that's why we have banter, because I usually ask, do you all recognize where that comes from? I would imagine Lillian's looking like...
I think so.
Do we want to...
Do you want to sing it? Like My Girl I'm talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Woo! They were out before me. So, okay. But yes, we are looking at chapter 24 of Genesis. And we are supposed to do something, and that something is to introduce ourselves. So I am the latchkey one himself, the former X-Man representing Gen X all up in the area. And at the far end, we have...
I am Moya, the resident millennial. Fancy now. And Chris already said, but we do have a guest. We have Lily again.
Hello.
If you remember her from last season.
Yeah, I'm Lily. I'm the Gen Z, the microwaver.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Filling in for our original
For
microwaver.
Jasmine, yeah.
Yep.
I guess all Gen Zs are microwavers. That's cool.
I don't know.
I don't
For
know
this
what that means,
podcast,
to
they
be
are.
honest.
It means they want things quickly. That's what Jasmine told us. Like, y'all want things like
okay.
now. Like, put it in a microwave and hurry up.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And so all Gen X folks who sit in these seats are going to be latchkeyed ones.
Okay.
And
we don't have any millennials planned. Well, maybe one. He's like Cusper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll make him an honorary millennial.
Okay.
So he'll be a resident millennial. Sweet.
We can't have two residents though.
Why not?
Sure.
I don't know.
There's plenty of residents that live in a house. It's not just one.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see when he gets here. If I want to share the residency.
I get it, because I kind of want to be the only latchkey one, but you know, the people that are going to be on, I can't deny them. So
they might not watch our podcast, so they might not know, and we don't have to give it to them.
Yeah,
she actually was watching and said microwaver before we ever said microwave.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
I took the spot.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming back.
Of course.
Oh man, this would be a good, fun second episode of the season. Our last episode was the intro. So y'all ready to jump in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
All right. We're reading from the ESV. Okay. Genesis chapter 24, verses 1-4. Now Abraham was old, well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his household, who had charge over all that he had, put your hand under my thigh, that I may make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell, but will go to my country and to my kindred and take a wife for my son Isaac.
Wow. So we're jumping in. We need to tell folks to go back. The intro portion is the all right, so boom from chapter 23.
Yes.
So that'll help give you some context. But where do we find Abraham here?
Many years later, we're assuming. We don't know how much time has passed from his wife dying, but we do know that now it kind of feels like he's bedridden, like almost out the door.
So he's about
he's
to die.
trying to straighten things out before he goes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's interesting here that one of the first things in verse 1 that it says in the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. Right. So that's like that's the expectation from the promise that was called out, way back in Genesis 12, right? I will bless you. So what's Abraham thinking about getting done, Lily?
He's trying to get a wife for his son, trying to continue the lineage.
Yeah.
Why the long pause?
No, it's not just letting that sink in my head, because there's something to be said about succession. And also, while it does say that Abraham has been blessed, we would expect more than it's got to continue, is what it hit me, right? So it's like this is the continuation of the blessing, is what he's trying to make sure it's set up.
Yeah.
And who's he calling?
Said he called his oldest servant.
A lot of the commentaries said it was Eliezer, but I don't know that makes him the oldest, just because he was considered to be the heir, or would be the heir if Abraham didn't have a son. Does that, because I feel like if you are, that means to me, the oldest would be someone who's similar in age to me, not necessarily an heir, because we would be like I don't know, every time you watch a period piece and they have a maid, that person is close to their age or older, because they're kind of guiding them and like walking with them. So I wouldn't have expected this person, whoever this is, to be Eliezer. But I know everybody says it is, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Did you see the same type
Yeah,
of
I
thing?
saw that it was Eleazar, or most likely Eleazar is what
Yeah.
people were saying.
Yeah. I was that was my first thought. Like it's gotta be. And then I was like you, like, wouldn't he be named? Maybe.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they say his name
Yeah.
somewhere? So what is he what's Abraham want him to do? He wants him to do something.
He wants him to promise him to go find his son. Like, he calls him.
Go find Isaac Abu thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the oath that he's giving, we saw this, and again, we did this a little backwards, but back in Joseph's story,
Yep.
his father was like, put your hand under my thigh.
Mhm.
And we didn't actually talk about it. Because I went back to watch that episode because I'm like, I remember this, but then I was like, we didn't talk about what that means or why your thigh, why under your
We
thigh.
can.
Yeah. I read that there's like different meanings of it, but in one commentary I saw that it meant that it was like a sign of like a lot of respect and release of authority, because you're like allowing someone to sit on your hand, so you're giving them that authority over you. But that's just one thing I read.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um it's some other commentaries talk about it as a euphemism for something else. And it's meant to talk about, like you said, the authority that you're swearing by, my lineage type of thing. So yeah, it and I wonder if it's like a custom, if anybody else does it. In my reading, I didn't see that any other groups did that. But it would strike me as something to be like carried on through, because if Jacob does it as well as Abraham, right? There's some, if you really want to make sure that someone is going to swear to you that they're going to carry out what you're asking, this is what you do. And it's probably all over the place in terms of the customs. All over. Yeah. So anything else from verses 1 through 4?
I guess the question people may think about is, why is he so adamant that his son has to marry someone that's from his hometown versus marrying a Canaanite?
Tell the people what they want to know.
I'm just saying that's probably a question that would come up.
Yeah.
I don't really have an answer yet, because I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know that we saw any sort of command that it has to be. There's no command to not mix yet. Maybe he's seeing that the people are wicked and could corrupt his son, but again, we don't know what the people in his hometown are doing either. Like, he doesn't know. He's been gone for a long time. They could be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, it was, he didn't want anybody outside of his lineage, because the other people, or the people in the Canaanites, could be, worshiping other gods, worshiping idols. So I read that it says they didn't want that to like kind of like pollute his lineage, or when they marry someone and then they bring in their own gods, and now he has a promise from God, and he can't, that promise cannot be fulfilled if they're not worshiping and thanking God. So that kind of finding someone of the same faith, so it had to be from his family.
I don't know that anyone aside from Abraham and his household would have the same faith.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right. No, I'm not sure if anyone else would, and we'll see it later, I think, in this chapter, would call the Lord Lord, aside from Melchizedek from last chapter, who came out of nowhere, right? And he called him Lord Almighty, was it? Creator of heaven and earth,
Most High,
or God Most High.
Lord Most High.
Yeah, so I don't know that it's the faith thing per se. I think that Abraham is trying to remain uh, congruent with the fact that the Lord called him out into this land that he's going to give him among all of these other tribes, other peoples. And because he called him out to this place with all these other peoples, Abraham is like, I don't want to go to these other people who I'm eventually going to get this land from to find a wife for my son. I'm going to go home. to where I came from.
Yeah.
Find a wife.
Yeah, I guess if he married someone who's a Canaanite, it's kind of giving them part in the blessing.
Yeah.
So if you're supposed to be taking it from them at some point, you can't, because we're all one, right?
Right.
If I marry into that group. So
that's what I think. There's nothing really hard, specific about that, but I think he's just relating it back to the call and the fact that he was called out, and he'll even speak to that later on, right?
mm-hmm.
So I think that and then we'll also see. Now, I don't know if we'll see it in this chapter, but to your point, Lily, we'll see later that where he's coming from. They had their own set of gods.
Yeah.
Right. So cool. Next up.
All right. The servant said to him, "Perhaps the woman may not be willing to follow me to this land. Must I then take your son back to the land from which you came?" Abraham said to him, "See to it that you do not take my son back there. The Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and who spoke to me and swore to me, 'To your offspring I will give this land.' He will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be free from this oath of mine. Only you must not take my son back there." So the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master and swore to him concerning this matter.
Yeah. So the servant had some concerns of his own.
Yeah.
Like, you sending me out, but
I don't know.
right. There may not be a boo thing that wants to come back. It may be that I go out there and I'm fruitless in my efforts. Right. So what does Abraham lean on in response to that, though? Did y'all pick up on that?
That the angel would be sent before them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was kind of like, he's like, I know God because God had promised me this, so I know God is gonna have somebody out there for him. Right. It has to happen, basically.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's what we go ahead.
I was like, he does say that. He also says, I mean, if it doesn't happen, then you're free. Mm-hmm. But these are the things that I feel will happen. Right. So it's faith, but also like, I mean, if it doesn't happen, maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do think that Abraham is showing, and he says, Abraham said to him in verse 6, "See to it that you take," 7, verse 7, "The Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and who spoke to me and swore." So he's like leaning back on the promise of him being called out and the fact that this land is going to be given to him and his offspring. So yeah, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it almost makes you think, well, why give the way out? Why not just be like, go find him, because we know it's going to happen. Maybe he's just being nice.
Maybe he saw the servant was looking nervous.
I think I maybe it's one of those situations where it's not a direct, I heard from God and I know this is for a fact, but I have faith that God will do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes we make those declarations like, but did God actually tell you that? Or are you just like it? I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but like I can believe that God will do something for me, but maybe he didn't say that clearly to me. And so yes, I believe it, but if it doesn't happen, I don't want that to take away from the faith of the person that's doing it either.
Yeah.
So to the servant who is in this household, who is a part of the blessing to some degree, because all of them were circumcised, he's saying, God is going to do this, but if he doesn't, you're free from this oath to me.
Right. Yeah. That's valid. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Why do we think he was so vehement about not taking Isaac with them?
I'd say maybe because, like he was saying, like God has made this promise for this land specifically. Like the promises of the Lord must be fulfilled in this specific land because this is the land that God has promised me. Okay. And maybe like if Isaac goes back, and he starts building in that land, and it's like, how do I know that he's gonna come back here? And with the things of that land that he has going on there, there's supposed to be blessings in this land, and it's supposed to be like a whole, like, this is where everything's supposed to happen in a way. And he doesn't want any back and forth or any roadblocks in that could happen. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Abraham sometimes to me does a lot. Like he be doing a lot.
Doing too much.
Because at the end of the day, they do leave the land at some point. That family leaves the land. He knows that they're gonna leave at some point and then be brought back. So he could be just, I mean, we've seen him in other chapters, like making his own plans, doing things his own way, not necessarily because God told him to, but he just feels like this is the right thing to do. So I think a lot of people said the same thing, like, oh, if she goes back, he may not come back. But if that was the promise to Abraham, if Isaac goes back, he's gonna come back because God made that promise by himself. He didn't make it based on what Abraham is gonna do or what Isaac is gonna do, because we know what they're going to do. So we're like, I mean, whether you do it now or later, it was like the whole thing with Ishmael, like you kick them out now or you kick them out later, what's really the difference? So I mean, I think we did figure out a difference there because he was able to get circumcised and blah blah blah. But yeah, I just feel like he just was like, I don't want you to just leave my son here.
I think that spectrum is fine, because I think some of it could be that Abraham may have been scared about him going back and getting enamored with being around his relatives. But also, I think Abraham is, I don't want to, he's inferring a lot from his original call, right? Because we haven't heard the Lord speak anything about any of this to him. At least it's not recorded.
Yeah.
So I think he's taking this original and is like, yeah, I gotta try and keep things tight. I can't let it get too loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Or who knows what may happen is what some of what I think he's doing. So he's doing a lot of inference and referring back to his call. And he's got the life to prove it, because it says he's blessed in all things. So what the Lord said will happen, even from chapter 22, and having a son and having his son given back to him, even to everything else that he has. And we'll see what we'll get an inkling of what he has further down.
Yeah.
Right. But he's got the Lord to stand on. So I think he's just trying to be obedient.
Yeah.
Whether it's too much or not.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to say. Oh, and then the servant says, okay, fine. He takes the oath, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, let's go get it. Let's go do what we're supposed to do. Next up, we've got Genesis chapter 24, verses 10 through 14. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, taking all sorts of choice gifts from his master. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. And he made the camels kneel down outside the city by the well of water at the time of evening, the time when women go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today and show steadfast love to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Let the young woman to whom I shall say, please let down your jar that I may drink, and who shall say, drink and I will water your camels, let her be the one whom you have appointed for your servant Isaac. By this I shall know that you have shown steadfast love to my master. All right. He makes a trip, he gets there. There's a couple of things that stand out to me in this passage. I want to know what stands out to y'all. Anything stand out?
I don't know. I feel like he went and he's like, only God can answer this right now. Like I don't. It's might be It's a stressful thing,
Right.
He's called and looking for the one wife for Isaac. So he's like, God, just do your thing. You give me the answer, and give me the sign that I want to see for this.
Yeah. But he didn't say just give me the sign though. He actually prays.
Yeah, he prays about it.
And you notice how he prays? Like none of this is like bless me, help me. It's always continue to show your steadfast love to my master Abraham. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing that there's, and I wonder if that's one of the reasons that the servant isn't named, because he's really just a proxy, right? He's not meant to be known, because all of this, and even the way the servant is looking at it, is like I'm just an extension of Abraham.
Yeah.
Right? Before he leaves, what do we think about what he takes with him?
The 10 camels. When I first read that, I was like, can one person juggle 10 camels? But then I guess later we find out no.
Yeah.
But then when you go back and read the rest of the story, you're like, okay, you have 10 camels. You have people with you. You have, so then you're asking this person, you're praying that this person will do this.
Yep.
And also do like feed the camels or give water to the camels. And I was just thinking, like, would I do all that? Like, would I look at y'all and help y'all?
Right.
Or would I be like, do it yourself? Like, why are you asking me that?
You can move.
Yeah, like, why are you asking me to do so much? So that's, I mean, I guess that's a testament to
his
Rebekah.
faithfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I read something that said that, because we talked about it a lot last year when we looked at the 3 is a magic number, right? With the 3 men who came and the hospitality that Abram had. And then when the two of them, the angels, went to Sodom, the hospitality, although I think looking back, you understand why he was being so hospitable, because he wanted them in and out.
Yeah.
Right. But I think he may have been looking for some of that same type of hospitality, someone who's willing to be hospitable and go the extra.
Yeah.
So that's something that I read. That was
it just felt excessive. But I guess that's the point. If it's because he's praying and trying to find somebody, the person has to be like extraordinary. It has to be like something beyond what a normal person may do. Because any woman may say, sure, have a drink. But any woman is not going to volunteer to also give your camels water, especially when you have people.
Like, right, you got 10 of them. Like,
yeah.
Not just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I think that also talks to the blessing of Abraham as well. Do you have anything else on that, Lily?
No.
Okay. Also, what I think is interesting about this whole thing, and I had to read it a couple of times, and then it hit me, like there really wasn't a guarantee that he would run into Nahor, or the brother of Abraham, who is Nahor, into his family, right?
Yeah.
Because he's just going to a well or spring, right? That everybody comes to. They don't have to be any of Abraham's relatives.
Yeah.
So this is a big ask. And you know what it reminded me of when we go back and look at season 1? Remember when Joseph went out to look for his brothers? And he just happened across the man who knew where his brothers were?
Yeah.
We just were like, man, look, God working. So this servant is like, I need not just that they'll give me water if I ask, but for it to be the one that you want, I need extra stuff to happen.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I read it. And what do you all think about the fact that he, the servant, phrases and puts everything not in his own context, but in Abraham's context? Show steadfast love to my master. This is how I know that you have, blessed my master, type of thing.
I mean, it's not for him.
Yeah.
They're getting a runoff of the blessing, but the blessing is not for him specifically. So whether or not Isaac gets a wife doesn't really concern me, but for my master, it's important.
Yeah. I think this nowadays is so, we don't find that removal of agency from ourselves, right? So when I'm at work, and this just came to my head, right? Yeah, I'm doing stuff for the company, but I want some accolades.
Yeah.
Chris did a good job, and he did a good job working for such and such, right? So to be this selfless, this proxying, whatever the word is for it, we don't see that nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
mean, you can tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm just
No, like,
thinking about it. I think you're right. Nobody's doing anything just cause anymore, or
Right.
for anyone,
Anyone else,
unless it's me and my family and mine.
right?
I'm not really going out of my way to do anything for anybody else
Right.
unless it's benefiting me. And this, I mean, it could benefit him, but it's not a direct benefit.
No,
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
But
And
he swore he's going to carry it out. I'm sorry.
no, you good. No, you good. And I was just gonna say, kind of just from the way the servant speaks, it's like, "Oh Lord, God of my master Abraham," and not really like my God.
Yeah.
Like maybe, it's back then they were like, "This is the God that's been blessing Abraham. This is the God that is following Abraham," and it's not necessarily my God. Like you said, they are reaping the blessings from being in contact with Abraham and everything, but maybe he's not saying it as, this is my God, like this, like everybody around, they see, they'll see the blessings that God has given Abraham, but they're not saying this is also my God. I'm not following this God. This is just a God. In their head, it's just one of the gods that's around.
Right.
So it's like that. Like he knows this is a God that has been blessing Abraham, and he's just working on behalf of both of them right now.
Yeah. Which makes me think so I think we can all say pretty cleanly and absolutely that Abraham knows the Lord. But it makes me wonder when his servant says this, right, where he doesn't claim his own agency towards the Lord, where he stands.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I don't know how that all worked. Maybe it was by proxy, even knowing the Lord for the servant. I don't know, but it's nowadays we don't do that. So that just struck me. Awesome, thanks. Anything else here that we should touch on?
The other thing about the well that I thought about, and I thought about this like while I was sleeping. I woke up and I was like, oh, remember it when Abraham was arguing with Abimelech over the wells? And I was like, maybe, and this is me doing a lot, maybe the reason they can't like just go get water from the well is because it's not their well. Because it was a big deal in that chapter that they're using our wells.
Yeah.
You want me to give 10 camels water from a well that's being used by these people? That's excessive because camels drink a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe we're waiting. And I think a lot of people do it was so much hard work for her, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but maybe it was just also her just being like, yeah, of course you guys can have from this well, or like not necessarily her spending 3 hours feeding camels, but her giving them access to the well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because they couldn't, because I read it like they got up there and just waited. And this is prayer, but they probably weren't, nobody knew them. So just bombarding somebody's well probably would have been good etiquette, right?
Yeah.
Get away from my well.
Yes.
Take your camels. They drink
that
too
makes
much.
sense.
And you think about how you're collecting water for a well. I wouldn't want you to take, that might be 3 months worth of water for us that you just took.
Oh, man. All right. So we get the prayer. We know what the servant is looking for. Let's get to the next part.
All right. Genesis chapter 24, verses 15 to 21. Before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with her water jug on her shoulder. The young woman was very attractive in appearance, a maiden whom no man had known. She went down to the spring and filled her jar and came up. Then the servant ran to meet her and said, "Please give me a little water to drink from your jar." She said, "Drink, my lord." And she quickly let down her jar upon her hand and gave him a drink. Then when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, "I will draw water for your camels also until they have finished drinking." So she quickly emptied her jar into the trough. and ran again to the well to draw water. And she drew for all his camels. Then the man gazed at her in silence to learn whether the Lord had prospered his journey or not.
Wow. So he said the prayer, and it says here, before he had finished speaking,
Mm-hmm.
Rebekah came. The
Yep.
Lord be answering quick.
For some people.
Okay. Yeah,
it
for some
depends.
people. for Abraham. So, but one of the things that stuck out to me is the description of Rebekah. What stands out to you about her description?
So she was really pretty.
Yeah. Is it me or is like everybody? Well, we're gonna see in
I was like, everybody ain't pretty.
I was about to say, but I mean, even when we looked again, we're going backwards. So when season 1 we looked at Joseph,
Mm-hmm.
he was a looker.
Yes. I mean, his lineage is baddies. Like
Yeah.
the women. I don't know, were there any other men that were considered?
Trying to think. I don't think
Mhm.
anyone else other than Joseph was described that way.
For men.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know Joseph was described that way because it was based around Potiphar's wife, right? And why she wanted to do what she wanted to do. But yeah, but as far as we know, all the women were baddies, like you said, right?
I'm thinking Moses. Moses was described as like a beautiful baby or something like that.
He may have been.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because that was like part of the reason they kind of looked at him and was like, oh, and then took him in.
Yeah. David was described as handsome, I believe. So was Saul.
Okay, so there might be some men in there.
There's some guys in there too.
Yeah.
But up to this point,
we have Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah was definitely.
I mean, and you look in the line, that's the biggest. I mean, how do I say this? She has been the most prolific in scripture so far. Aside from Eve, if you want to consider Eve, because she's the mother of everything. But I mean, I imagine the first 2 humans ever created had to be baddies.
But I guess nobody was there to see. Like nobody was there to be like yes or
to compare.
Like y'all are just regular.
Adam was a baddie. Nobody knows that.
As people are starting to look different, then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't all look like that?
Yeah.
Oh man. So, but what else is he described? So he's definitely described as attractive.
Yeah.
And then there are a couple of other descriptions about her as well.
Yeah. In this version it says a maiden who no man had known, but I read it in a different version. I think NLT, and it says she was of age to be married, and she was also a virgin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically, I don't know how he knew that by looking at her. It's just going back and the narrator filling that in. But yeah, so that's exactly what he's looking for, right?
Yeah.
He's looking for someone who is well respected and someone who's ready and of marriageable age. So, and I guess it helps that she's attractive.
Yeah.
So he sees Rebekah.
Runs to her.
Do you remember when we talked in Genesis 18 keeps coming up about the immediacy of everything? How quickly, right? Abraham ran out to meet them and he quickly went to tell his wife to need bread and he quickly. Do you get that same sense here when you read this?
Yeah.
Everything seemed like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
So, and then it says that she was talking about doing everything that he had asked for.
Yeah.
So the Lord answers prayer. And there's no doubt that she's the one. But this last verse, the man gazed at her in silence to learn whether the Lord had prospered his journey or not. I mean, by the activities, I wonder if that's sort of going back to say that while she was doing this, he was looking. I also wonder if some of it was like, he had that surprised look on his face, like jaw-dropping moment, like, whoa, this is really happening.
Right in front of what I just prayed for is actually
it's and quickly. because I didn't even get all the words out.
Yeah.
So, anything else stand out to you all?
Yeah, kind of like you were just saying. It's like he maybe was in like a state of shock. Like I said before, like this is Abraham's God, and he's always seen what God has done for Abraham. But now he's prayed to this God, and he actually did it for him too. And he's like, oh wow, like this God is serious.
Yeah. And again, it makes me wonder if this changes, and we don't get this information, right? But I like to think when you see God responding to you in a specific in this way and something similar to this, that it's got to move you to have a stronger belief. It's got to move you to be like, okay, this isn't just my master's Lord. This is going to be my Lord too. I wonder if that's happening in the servant's mind anywhere. All right. Anything else?
When you just said that, it made me think about when we did Jonah and the men seeing.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because we don't know.
Yeah. But I think, and when you say the missing, the fishermen who on the boat.
Yeah. Once they threw them in, the waters were calm, and they were like, "Oh wait,
Yeah.
like."
And I would tend to give them more. Not like I can do anything to put them in heaven, but I would think that they have more of a belief than some of the other folks, because we had that discussion in Jonah, right? I think that they may have come out being believers more so than I think that the people of Nineveh came out being believers.
Maybe.
And I think some of it is discussions that they had afterwards. I think Nineveh, yeah, they probably straightened up for a little bit and then went right back to being Ninevites and conquering and doing all the stuff that got them destroyed several years later.
Yeah.
So, cool. Next up.
All right, verses 22 to 28. It says, when the camels had finished drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing a half shekel and 2 bracelets for her arms weighing 10 gold shekels, and said, please tell me whose daughter you are. Is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night? She said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Melech, whom she bore to Nahor. She added, we have plenty of both straw and fodder and room to spend the night. The man bowed his head and worshipped the Lord and said, blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his steadfast love and his faithfulness toward my master. As for me, the Lord has led me in the way to his house of my master's kinsman. Then the young woman ran and told her mother's household about these things.
Wow. And y'all see the little praise break that he had in the middle of everything?
Yeah. As for me, the Lord has led me. So that's the first time he's like, this is me, like similar to what you're saying, like, oh, he listened to me, or he got me here.
Yep. He's led me in the way to the house of my master's kinsman. That's what makes me think that while we think when we think in today's terms, it may be easy to go, right? I can easily go find my dad's brothers and sisters, but being separated for as long as they were, it just was not an easy feat to come across a certain person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about in the beginning how far he's traveling to get here.
Yeah.
They're saying, I think it was like 500 miles, between 5 and 800 miles, depending on what path they're taking. And he's, I guess, on camelback, but that's still a long journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I have a map that I'll put up so that you can so that people that are watching can get sort of a view of, where this servant traveled from to was it Haran, right?
Yeah.
So, but what else? You see him break out the bling?
Yeah.
Just a taste.
Taste. Just a little something.
Yeah, just a
your
little
curiosity.
I mean, she was excited. She ran like, all right, let me go. Let me go tell my peoples real quick.
Let me go tell them.
Yeah.
We know exactly who she is. I'm the daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, right? And she's like, yeah, you can come and stay. We got plenty of space. That hospitality thing again.
Mhm.
Right. So yeah, everything seems to be going in a good direction.
Yep.
Next up, Genesis chapter 24, verses 29 to 33. Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban. Laban ran out toward the man to the spring, and as soon as he saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's arms and heard the words of Rebekah, his sister, thus the man spoke to me. He went to the man, and behold, he was standing by the camels at the spring. He said, come in, O blessed of the Lord. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. So the man came to the house and unharnessed the camels and gave straw and fodder to the camels, and there was water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. Then food was set before him to eat, but he said, I will not eat until I have said what I have to say. He said, speak on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a lot of he said's in there. So who do we run into? Who do we meet?
Her brother.
The brother,
Yeah.
Laban.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was excited about everything that was going on.
Yeah.
He sounded excited.
Very rich. Every brother's dream.
Right. get into a rich family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah, I think some of the wording here is set up to let us know the importance that Laban was putting on the fact that he saw the nose ring and the bracelet. So it's like, oh, what's that? That's new. You said this man got 10 camels? because did y'all pick up on it where it's like he runs out to the spring?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, okay, how fast was Rebekah? Because the way this reads, it doesn't even sound like the servant had packed up his camels yet
No.
and
Yeah.
headed back. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, geez, what's happening here? How's the order of things going? What's going on?
Yeah.
They were
Like,
hyped.
then I was envisioning as like, she's like, hold on. We have space. Let me go like tell them real quick.
Okay.
Runs
Mhm.
up. And then the brother's like, why you got them waiting? Runs back. Like that's how it sounded. Like, hurry up. Like everything is, like you said, quickly happening.
Yep.
But they still have to, we need to debrief real quick. This is what's going on.
Right.
And the brother's like, say less. I got it. And he goes out like, let's go.
Mhm.
Did you have something to say about that, Lily?
No, it's the same. Like
Same thing.
they seemed pretty excited, and the time was quick. Their family seen what was going on with her, and they said, "I gotta go check this out."
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
go. And we see the hospitality.
Yeah.
Right.
They said that they already prepared
Mhm.
a house for them.
Yeah. Which would give credence to what you were saying, where you're like, she got there and they did some stuff to make sure that everything was ready for all these men and these camels to come. So that okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I also imagine that they are not, I want to say broke. They aren't broke either. They have enough to feed these people, house these people, give them water from the well. Like they have stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe seeing someone who also has stuff is like, oh, someone who's on our level, kind of someone we can actually mesh with.
Yeah.
Because maybe I don't know if, like, we don't know if Laban is married. We don't know if any of what other siblings she has, if they're married or not married. We just know that they seem to have a lot of space, a lot of resources, and but they're still excited to see like someone new.
More.
Yeah.
Yep. So meet them. They saw the man at the spring. And what about the servant was just wants to get down to business, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, before I eat.
Yeah, let me tell you what I want first.
Nah, we're not going to delay this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like a long trip. Like you said, I'd have been hungry. I'd have ate first, but
I'm sure they have food on the way.
Some bread.
Yeah, but for that long trip, they would have packed and kind of been prepared to eat and take care of themselves.
I'm expecting a spread though. I mean, so on the way, I gotta eat bread.
Bread and seeds.
Fruits. Once I get there, I'm expecting like like Abraham did. Let me go get the calf and
Listen,
make some curds.
you're thinking, okay, I'm thinking Abraham is my master, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna have the best of the best. I have camels that are carrying the load. I'm bringing what I want to bring. I'm gonna have some jerky. I'm gonna have some fruit. I'm gonna have stuff.
So you're like, they got it. They're not.
I don't think they're starving. I think they're like, I mean, we'll eat some fresh food, but we're
Yeah.
okay for right now.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
here for business.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like that because that's exactly why he's like, nah, we can't eat yet. I'm here
Yeah.
for business.
Mhm.
I'm here for business. Next up.
All right. Genesis chapter 24, verses 34 to 44. So he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has greatly blessed my master, and he has become great. He has given his flocks and herds silver and gold, male servants and female servants, camels and donkeys. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master when she was old, and to him he has given all that he has. My master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell, but you shall go to my father's house and to my clan and take a wife for my son. I said to my master, Perhaps the woman will not follow me. But he said to me, the Lord before whom I have walked will send his angel with you and prosper your way. You shall take a wife for my son from my clan and from my father's house. Verse 41. Then you will be free from my oath when you come to my clan, and if they will not give her to you, you will be free from my oath. I came today to the spring and said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, if now you are prospering the way that I go, behold, I am standing by the spring of water. Let the virgin who comes out to draw water, to whom I say, Please give me a little water from your jar to drink, and who will say to me, Drink, and I will draw for your camels also. Let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son.
Any difference from anything we've read before?
Nope. No.
Yeah, I like how he sort of gives like the history of Abraham in the beginning, right? Even to the point, even though it's not, is it really stated here? And to the point of the birth of Isaac.
Yeah, he mentioned that she gave him a son at his, I think she said at his old age.
At her old age.
So even to that miracle that has happened, it's almost like catch up. Like how's my, so he's talking to Laban, so that would be his uncle, right? How's my uncle doing?
Is it like great?
Yeah, great uncle.
I think it's a great, yeah.
Yeah, because
Nahor is the brother.
Yeah.
And this is the brother's son's son. I think it's just one.
Okay. Yeah.
And that kind of shows how old Abraham was when he had his kid, because you're talking about your kid is dating your brother's grandchild, great grand. Yeah.
So it's a little bit of it's good. This is a little bit of a history lesson. And then he gets into what he did, why he's here, and what he came to find, and the oath that he had to take, and all of that. And they even finished off with his prayer. So basically just telling them the events that have happened.
Yep.
So next up.
All right, verses 45 to 51. It says, Before I had finished speaking in my heart, behold, Rebekah came out with her water jar on her shoulder, and she went down to the spring and drew water. I said to her, Please let me drink. She quickly let down her jar from her shoulder and said, Drink, and I will give your camels drink also. So I drank, and she gave the camels drink also. Then I asked her, Whose daughter are you? She said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. So I put the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her arms. Then I bowed my head and worshipped the Lord and blessed the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who had led me by the right way to take the daughter of my master's kinsman for his son. Now then, if you are going to show steadfast love and faithfulness to my master, tell me, and if not, tell me that I may return to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing has come from the Lord. We cannot speak to you bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her be the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has spoken.
Mm.
So we get the rest of the events recapped at the spring,
Yep.
the well, right?
Mhm.
What happened there? What do you all think about their response, Laban and Bethuel?
They were down with it. They said, if that's what the Lord said, then go ahead.
Mm-hmm. What about the fact that they said we cannot speak to you bad or good?
I think it's kind of like saying like this is if the Lord told you this, and this is out of our hands anyway. So whatever the Lord says is what we're going with. So it's not our opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not just good though? Am I reading too much into it?
I mean,
I think indifferent. It's
yeah, I
like,
think they kind of say indifferent in a way.
That's what I'm getting at. So that makes me wonder. That leads me to believe, even in this, that they aren't really following the Lord like that, because there's sort of an indifference there.
Really.
Does that make sense?
Mm.
Am I doing too much?
I would think opposite. I feel like their indifference shows that they're truly dedicated to the Lord, because it's like they're not thinking in their own minds. They're leaving everything up to God in a way. That's kind of how I read it.
Why would it be bad or good though?
Like you're saying like in their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
That was my only angle. Like, we can't say whether it's bad or good. It's the Lord. It's good,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. Maybe it's like we don't know the plan that's gonna happen with this or what God has planned for this, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Also, like they're humans, There's this random guy has come and she's like, I want your sister and take her back all the way to Canaan, and the Lord said that, so you can't do nothing about it. So it's like maybe they might have some, hesitancy about that, but
yeah.
overall, it's God.
Yeah, and maybe that's the indifference is we aren't excited that you're gonna take
Yeah.
our child and take her far away, but we also aren't mad about it. Like,
Mm.
if that's what God said, that's what God said.
That's what he
Okay,
said.
Yeah.
Okay. Take her and go. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let her be the wife. So basically, they agreed, and as far as we know right now, Rebecca's heading out.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Genesis. Ooh, I only got 3 verses. Chapter 24, verses 52 to 54. When Abram's servant heard their words, he bowed himself to the earth before the Lord. And the servant brought out jewelry of silver and of gold and garments and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave to her brother and to her mother costly ornaments. And he and the men who were with him ate and drank, and they spent the night there. When they arose in the morning, he said, send me away to my master. So, he had more than just the nose ring and some bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
He had a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He was showing out.
This is the bride price.
Yeah.
They have to pay a big bride price.
That's what some people say it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also a show of we can take care of her.
Yeah.
Like, we got it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, servant wasn't playing when he said the Lord has blessed my master Abraham, right?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, y'all, I'm gonna show you
Yeah.
what we got going on.
Yeah. I also like that there was other people with him, because sending her away with one servant with these 10 camels would have felt weird to me.
Yeah.
But because there's other people there, it feels more like, okay, this long journey, they're not doing the long journey on their own.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Laban and her mother were happy to get some trinkets too. I think I read something where the word used to talk about these gifts and things that were given we're normally aligned with like royalty giving gifts to someone.
Mhm.
So the author may be doing a play using that word to sort of insinuate, sort of this royalty of Abraham here that would excite them even more about who he is and where Rebekah may be going.
Yeah.
So anything else in those couple of verses?
I thought it was interesting that Laban is the one. Laban and the mother are getting gifts, but not
Not Bethuel.
Bethuel.
Yeah. Yeah. That is interesting. I read that it's not uncommon for the oldest brother to take on, the contractual nature of this thing, the negotiation of this type of thing. So I don't know that it's too wild, but at the same time, he was mentioned earlier, and now he's just doesn't come up anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that tells us about Bethuel, but also I think the author wants and is impressing upon us Laban because we know that he's important later on in the story as well.
Genesis chapter 24, verses 55 to 61. Her brother and her mother said, "Let the young woman remain with us a while, at least 10 days. After that, she may go." But he said to them, "Do not delay me, since the Lord has prospered my way. Send me away that I may go to my master." They said, "Let us call the young woman and ask her." And they called Rebekah and said to her, "Will you go with this man?" She said, "I will go." So they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, "Our sister, may you become thousands of 10,000s, and may your offspring possess the gates of those who hate him."
Yeah.
Then Rebekah and her young woman arose and rode on the camels and followed the men. Thus the servant took Rebekah and went his way.
So what about the Uno reverse card?
I read some commentary that it was like it was customary for when a woman in your family was getting married off that there was like 10 days for like celebrations and more negotiations, and that was just a customary time to do that business and celebration. So they wanted to do that, continue on that tradition, and that's why they wanted to be like chill out. But the servant was like, nah, like this is we've already made it. There's no more negotiating that needs to be done. We need to go. My master's waiting for me.
Yeah. And I read that sometimes that 10 days could be way more than 10 days. So he's like, "I don't want y'all to even start it. Like, don't even start. I'm taking her now."
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm jaded. I'm like, they was trying to thrift some more money. Like, hey, I made more of them ornaments you got up in there, homie. Come up off of those. You want to take Rebekah? We need more.
Yeah. I'm surprised neither one said, "I will go with you," like, or to send a sibling. I know they sent the servant with her, but I was like, would we just send our sister with no family, no nothing? But they said ask her, and she said yes.
Yes.
Maybe she's grown enough to make that decision.
Yeah, but still, especially today's time, right? You wouldn't think of doing that, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah. You haven't seen him. You haven't seen Abraham. Like, some of these people probably didn't even know Abraham.
Probably.
So I know my granddad or my great granddad had a brother named Abraham, but he'd been gone for a minute, and he didn't have no kids when he was here.
Yeah.
Something just doesn't feel right. But they are all comfortable, so maybe that's the Lord will go before you, and give them peace about it.
I think so. So they call Rebekah, she'll go. And then what about the blessing that they give? That they bless her with?
Similar to the blessing that Abraham has about being the father of many nations, and they're passing it to her. And then they'll possess the gates of those who hate them. Like, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Like, that's a little, I don't know.
You going to another season that we had. Y'all need to go check out these seasons that we had. Remember the blessing for Ruth? Wasn't it similar? Like, may you have nations or something like that. So it's like, I wonder between that and then reading this, that must have been like the common thing for someone who's being married.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to have
Mm.
a bunch of kids because that talks to how blessed you are, which then brings further insight into Sarah and what she was dealing with. They just want the best for her, which is nice, which is good. She's gone.
Yeah. I feel like we need to talk more about what it means to possess the gates of your enemies.
Like, you know, you'll prosper. Like, your enemies won't have you. They won't block the ways of your path. You're the one who's possessing those gates. They're not. You're gonna be above them all. And in the sense of, like, you know, they were people of the Lord. So it's like God is gonna those people who are against God and will not prosper.
You're going to beat them up, take them down. They ain't going to be able to stand up against you. You're going to conquer and possess whatever you want. Anyone who comes against you, you're going to take them out. That's when I read it. That's what I get.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we've talked about gates a lot of times so far. Almost every season we've talked about gates and the dealings that happens at the gate, and it's like you possess that. You are in control of that. Is how I was reading it. Like, yeah, they hate you, but you have the power. You make the decisions.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. You were thinking of it from a business handling thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was thinking of it from that they were, I'll put in past tense, that other people's gates. Now you control them, which may be similar to what you're thinking.
Yeah. I think all three, I mean, it's different, but they all could be true, right? Because in gate for them, it could be literal gates, it could be figurative gates, but in all the aspects, it's like you control those.
Right.
You have the power, whether it's physical power, financial power, political power, you possess all of it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. I think that aligns. All right. Genesis chapter 24, verses 62 to 67. Now Isaac had returned from Beer Lahai Roi and was dwelling in the Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate, in the field toward evening. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, there were camels coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes. And when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from the camel and said to the servant, "Who is that man walking in the field to meet us?" The servant said, "It is my master." So she took her veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Then Isaac brought her into the tent of Sarah, his mother, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So the culmination of all of the servants' activities and what Abraham had commissioned him to do. Boom.
Yeah.
6 verses. So, what do we see? What's going on?
She got there and she was like, you know, wow, like this guy.
Servant dude. Who's that guy?
Yeah. I think it shows like how perfect God's plan was, because like it seems like it was like love at first sight. Like, she loved him, and well, obviously from the physical looks, she really liked him, and it says she was beautiful, so he loved her too. So it was like it was perfect. It was a perfect match made by God.
It was a match. I want to hear what you think, Moyo, because you're looking at.
I'm the ain't no love. No, I don't know. I expected an introduction. This is my daddy who went to go, like, something like we just went straight into the mom's tent. Like, I don't think I don't like it. But yeah, that's how we keep seeing how love has changed.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess at least this time they seen each other first. Like at least they noticed each other.
I wouldn't even say love necessarily, but how courtship has changed.
Yeah.
Right? He went, the servant, with the express purpose of finding a wife. She came with the intention and the express understanding that she was going to be a wife to Isaac.
Yeah.
I guess when the servant told Isaac, hey, you supposed to marry her, Isaac was like, all right, bet. Right? And it was like, and it doesn't say anything about a ceremony, to your point.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about
No intros.
intros.
No hi, no nothing.
Like, boom, take them. And boom, like we married now. I was married now.
Yeah.
Color Purple reference.
Yeah.
I know you don't like that movie. But
I don't like black suffering.
Yes.
Suffering.
I told her, I was like, you gotta see Color Purple. And then she came back, she's like, I don't like that movie. It's like, what? It's a classic. I don't care. I don't like it.
The black classics are all traumatic. Y'all need some real love stories.
But what about the fact that it says that he loved her?
Yeah. I saw a
Right?
comment.
Does that redeem in any of this stuff? Any of these things that we think are missing?
I guess I saw some commentary that said like it was kind of rare for it to be expressed that that love was so much, like she was his comfort at the time and he loved her as her in a way. So I think it shows the genuinity of the relationship and of the pairing, and yeah, I think it shows a deep love that was deeper than just it wasn't just an arranged, like it was an arranged marriage, but it got deeper than that.
Deeper than that.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Right? Because to our point with Abraham, I don't think any of this was ever said about Sarah.
No, he loved his son though.
He loved his son.
That's
It said about Sarah. I still maintain that Abraham was really distraught, so he had some deep feelings.
like he loved her. Yeah, that was his. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting that that's here, and what you brought up, the comfort. So I guess his mother's death had a big impact on him.
Yeah.
On him, right? So for you to say, as a man who's of marriageable age, right? That then he's being comforted now by having this new wife in his life.
Yeah.
So cool. Anything else? Does that wrap it up?
Yeah.
Man,
it's quick.
67 verses. Ooh. So we usually do something here, which is to give an invitation. And I think what we said earlier about sort of the Lord continuing to fulfill his promise to Abraham is a good segue into that invitation, because we've seen it throughout Abraham's life that the Lord has promised them things, and those things that the Lord has promised them, we've seen have come to pass, that he was blessed in all things. And now we see it even being furthered onto his son, who will carry on this line and this nation that are going to come from Abraham, and that ultimately results in all the nations of the earth being blessed by you, as it says something similar to that in Genesis 12, 1 through 3. So that same God who was at work then, right? I think we talked about it in this episode, is at work now. And the same promises that he made, not the same promises, I don't want to say it that way, but the same God who can promise then has promised now. And right now, what he's promised is that anyone who believes in his son, and even then it was still true. It wasn't that you were obedient to anything. It was that you would carry out anything. It's that you believed God. And now, if we would believe in Jesus, the Son of God, then we will have eternal life, right? And we won't be one who perishes or has to worry about being defeated by death, or has to worry about being thrown into a pit of sulfur. We have life, for anyone who believes. And what do you need to believe? That's all. That should be the question, right? You need to believe that he was buried. Um, for I can't even talk. That he died for our sins according to the scriptures. That he was buried and that he was raised on the third day. Go take a look at 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 3 and 4. Actually, read 1 through 4 because that talks about the importance of those things that I just mentioned. But that's what we need to believe. We need to believe that Jesus is who he said he is, that Jesus is not just a good teacher, that he's just not an upright person, but that he is the one who came and died for our sins. He lived the life that we couldn't live and died a death that we all deserve so that we might have life in him, that we might be able to take upon ourselves his righteousness and be seen as those who are righteous in the eyes of the Lord because of what Jesus did. So we urge you to believe. We do this not just for our own edification, but for the edification of those out there, and that someone may come to ask about who this Jesus is and why is he so important. Well, this Jesus is the one who takes away our sins, and he's important just because he does that and gives us this opportunity for life. All right. If you believe, just let us know. We'd love to, touch base with you, celebrate with you. Or if there are any questions that you have, just reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Yeah, believe. Anything else?
No.
Believe.
good.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We out of here. Thank you
All right.
again for sitting in.
Mm.
Deuces.
Bye.
Bye.